Hi, my name is Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Danny, it's nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I could be better.
Okay, would you like to elaborate on that?
So I have been with this guy. We're together in high school, and I started like finding like spoons around the house, and I was a little skeptic, like kind of what was going on, and like we would get in like arguments, and he would kind of like push me around sometimes, and it would get like a little violent, and um, then we ended up just like having kids. Um, and then he ended up like forcing me to like do heroin with him one night. And he told me he would kill me if I didn't. And this was probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
And since then, I've just kind of like, I can't stop. Like, I have to keep taking it. Like, I feel like I can't function if I don't take it. And I've been like arrested in the past. Like I don't have a good track record. And here recently, while I was on probation, I was arrested for possession. And the state officially took my kids away. And they're placed with my parents. And my parents are really mad because they told me to get rid of like my boyfriend and that I don't need to be with him and like I'm too good for him. And they're mad that I stayed with him, and now I'm like in this big hole of a mess, and they don't want me to see my kids ever again, so they're gonna fight for custody. And I really just like want to get clean. I want my kids back. My boyfriend, if he's even my boyfriend anymore, is in prison right now for homicide. So I'm kind of just like taking this time to like try to get help because he wouldn't let me leave to go get help. He was really controlling.
I understand that is definitely really hard to go through, and I'm glad that you came to see me. I'm really excited that we're going to be able to work together to help you get clean and help you get your kids back.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I think we should discuss is, are you currently still using?
I used yesterday.
Okay. Are you wanting to? It sounds to me like you're really ready to get clean and you're just ready to move on and be there for your kids in a way that you're not able to right now.
Mm.
So, are you interested in going to a rehab facility?
Yeah, I really want to like make this happen. Like I want to be clean. I want to be there for my kids. I don't want to be with my boyfriend anymore. So I just want to be like as far away from that situation as possible.
Right, I definitely can understand that. So my first suggestion is that we start looking for rehab facilities, maybe not in the area but close to the area. So if you're able to see your kids, you have the opportunity, but you're able to distance yourself from everything that you're used to in your normal life that might suck you back into using. And I also think that a good suggestion would be taking up counseling.
Mm.
It sounds like to me that you are experiencing a lot of difficult feelings, and I think it's important to express those feelings and work through them, especially in this time while you're trying to work and get clean.
Yeah. I tried like before we got like addicted. I tried to make him go to counseling with me because I really wanted our relationship to work because we have 2 kids. And he beat me and said that he wasn't going to go to counseling, so that kind of like stopped that. So I never really like thought about it, and then he wouldn't like let me leave the house by myself, so I could never go without him knowing. But now that he's in prison, like I'm just trying to take every initiative that I can to like move away from him as far as possible.
Right. That sounds like a really good idea, and I think that it will help you stay on track to where you want to be.
Mm.
So, in terms of rehab facilities is this would you like to live in a facility where you have constant supervision and you have 24/7 support, or would you rather do something more along the lines of support groups and AA meetings?
I want to do like the live-in because I wouldn't be at home in the situation that I'm already in, and I just want to be as far away from that as possible, and I would be around people that are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, that is definitely helpful to surround yourself with people who are striving to do the same thing that you're doing. That way you can push each other and motivate each other to be better each and every day. So, would you like to start looking at these facilities? How soon are you looking to start the programs?
I want to start as soon as possible because I don't want my kids to grow up not knowing their mom.
Okay. This is a little sidetrack, but how long have your kids been with your parents?
They officially started living with my parents maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
And James is 3 and Amber is 1.5. So they're like relatively young, but I still want to make sure that like they don't like grow up and they're like, well, where's mommy? Like I don't want that.
Right. That's a good thing to keep you motivated in this time. I do want to be forward with you so you know that these next couple of months are going to be kind of difficult and it's going to be a process, but I also want you to know that I'm here with you every step of the way, and I think it is important that we check up with each other and that we do a check-in maybe every 2 to 3 weeks or so. That way I can know your progress, and maybe depending on where your facility is, I can come and see you and we can do face-to-face interactions, and that way I can see how you're doing. And I also think that it's important that within the facility you live at that you should start counseling, just so that during this time of cleanse and getting clean, you're also able to work through the emotional side of things, and that way you're able to be there for your kids not only physically but mentally and emotionally. And I think that we're taking a step in the right direction.
Okay. So one thing that I kind of just had like a question on is like I had like a part-time job before all of this stuff started, and like my parents are obviously like mad at me, and they're not gonna want to like help me pay for rehab. So is there any like program that I could like potentially get into to like help me pay for it?
Right. I understand your question. Do you still have your part-time job, or is you don't?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that before we went further into conversation. So, off the top of my head, I can think of a couple of programs that we could look about getting you into. There are certain qualifications that you have to meet and there are requirements that you have to meet in order to get accepted into the program. But there are 2 different programs that I can think of that are specifically for single mothers, close to where you are in your position in life. So I think that looking into those programs would be a good step, and just doing what we can to get the ball rolling and helping you start getting on track for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So with him being in prison right now, he's set to get out in like 6 months. What is like a timeline for like rehab?
So rehab, it really is more depending on you as a person, just because each person goes through life differently, and we're able to do things at different paces than others, just depending on who we are and how much we're struggling. Depending on the program, you could be in it from anywhere to 6 to 18 months. Because this type of problem isn't a quick fix. It's like I had mentioned earlier, it's going to be a long journey, but you know, you have my support and you'll have the support of the workers in the rehab facility, and your counselor will also be supporting you in this journey.
So if I'm in there for longer than 6 months and he's released, what do I do?
So in that instance, I think that you would just continue in your rehab facility. I don't know. Can you elaborate more on what it is that you're worried about with him getting out early?
I just don't want him to like find the kids or like find me and like hurt us.
Right, I understand.
Because he's like done it in the past.
So I think with you and you being in your rehab facility, depending on where it is that you decide to go, he will not necessarily be able to find you, but he doesn't know where you are now. So when he gets out in 6 months, he's not going to just be able to come in the rehab facility and say, "Where's Danny? Like, I need to talk to her." Like, there's protocol and there's rules for guests and stuff like that. As far as your kids go, I think that they are safe with your parents. It sounds like they are reliable and trustworthy, and that they wouldn't allow any harm to your children.
Okay. So I know we're gonna like keep seeing each other, but like, would it be possible to get like a restraining order against him?
Yes, we can do that together. That's something that I can help you with. We can look into filing a restraining order for when he gets out in 6 months or so. That way you'll be protected from him and he won't be able to harm you in any way.
Okay, that sounds good.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.